Okay, here's our next installment of Wayside School is Falling Down. Chapter 24, another story about potatoes. Joe was next in line. He had forgotten his lunch. And what would you like, Joe? Asked Miss Mush. What do you have? Joe asked. Potato salad, said Miss Mush. Anything else? Asked Joe. Nope, just potato salad, said Miss Mush. Miss Jules had made Miss Mush throw away the rest of the mushroom surprise, and she made Miss Mush promise to never make it again. Okay, I'll have potato salad, said Joe. Miss Mush smiled. She scooped a large glop of potato salad out of the vat and plopped it onto Joe's paper plate. Sherry was next in line. She had also forgotten her lunch. And what would you like, Sherry? Asked Miss Mush. What do you have? Asked Sherry. Potato salad. What else is there? Asked Sherry. Nothing, said Miss Mush. Okay, said Sherry. I'll have that. Potato salad? Asked Miss Mush. No, nothing, said Sherry. Joe was the only one who had ordered potato salad. Everyone else had ordered nothing. He slid his paper plate over to the cash register and paid for his lunch. Then he went to the ketchup and mustard table. He looked at the grayish-white mound on his plate. He thought it needed more color. He squirted squiggly lines of yellow mustard all over it. Then he added several dollops of red ketchup. That's very pretty, Joe, said Phoebe. I didn't know you were such a good artist. Thanks, said Joe, and he looked for a place to sit. Hey, Joe, over here, called John. Joe sat next to him. Hi, pal, he said. Hey, good buddy, said John replied. They were best friends. John had brought his lunch. He looked at Joe's potato salad covered with yellow squiggles and red polka dots. Oh, that's very colorful, he said. Thanks, said Joe. They both stared at it. I wonder what it tastes like, said John. Who knows, said Joe. There's plenty more potato salad, called Miss Mush. Who wants seconds? Nobody wanted seconds of potato salad. Several kids went back for seconds of nothing, but soon Miss Mush ran out of nothing. Joe finally picked up his plastic fork and stuck it into the glop. What does it feel like? Asked John. Lumpy and gooey, said Joe. He dragged his fork over the mound, swirling the mustard and ketchup together. Kind of spongy, too. The colors mixed with the potato salad, and it turned to a pale orange. It looks like a face, said John. Joe laughed. He shaped it so it would look even more like a face. He piled up some potato salad in the center, giving it a nose. John had a plastic spoon. He dug out two holes for the eyes, then made eyebrows. Oh, that's good, said Joe. He gave it a big, smiling mouth. John made long, pointy ears. They both laughed at their creation. I wonder what it tastes like, said John. Who knows, said Joe. They stared at it. Kind of looks familiar, said John, like someone I know. Who? Asked Joe. I'm not sure, said John. Joe noticed it too. It does look familiar, he agreed. I've seen that face somewhere before, said John. Me too, said Joe. The smile on the potato salad abruptly turned into a frown. Wow, did you see that? Asked Joe. John's eyes filled with terror. I just figured out who it looks like, he whispered. Who? Asked Joe. Mrs. Gorf. The potato salad laughed. Ha 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 ha, said Mrs. Gorf. Now I'll get you. You think you're so cute, don't you? Well, you won't get away from me this time. She wiggled her ears, first her right one and then her left one. Quick, Joe, said John. Eat her. The two boys dug their plastic utensils into the potato salad and shoveled it into their mouths as fast as they could. Joe swallowed the final mouthful. Phew, said John, that was close. Joe rubbed his belly and sighed. They both stared at the empty plate. You know, Joe, said John, that doesn't taste too bad. Yeah, that was pretty good, Joe agreed, and they went back for seconds. Chapter 25, A Story That Isn't About Socks. It was class picture day. The children were all dressed up in their best clothes. Stephen came to school wearing a three-piece suit, gray trousers, gray vest, and a gray jacket. Underneath his vest was a white shirt and a red and gold striped tie. On his feet were hard black shiny shoes. He was very handsome. The other kids laughed when they saw him. You've worn lots of silly costumes, said Bibi, but this one is the silliest one yet. Bibi was wearing yellow shorts and a red shirt with white polka dots and a floppy green hat. Mrs. Jules rang her cowbell. Settle down, she said. The children settled into their seats. Stephen remained standing. Look at Stephen, said Mauricia. His jacket is the same color as his pants. They're supposed to be the same color, Stephen tried to explain. It's a suit. They're not called pants, they're called trousers. Oh, said Mauricia. Can you go swimming in your suit? No, said Stephen. I can go swimming in my suit, said Mauricia. Mauricia had on a black and white striped bikini. I'm sure Stephen's suit is good for other things, said Mrs. Jules. It is, said Stephen. Oh, yeah, like what? Said Todd. Standing around and looking important, said Stephen. What about sitting? Asked Todd. Nope, I am not supposed to sit, said Stephen. The suit might get wrinkled. I'm just supposed to stand around and look important. Oh, said Todd. Todd was wearing white shorts, a Hawaiian shirt, and some sunglasses. Dee Dee crawled across the floor to Stephen so she could get a better look at his shoes. They're so shiny, she said. I can see myself. She knocked on the toe of his shoes with her fist. And they're hard, too. Dee Dee, get up, said Mrs. Jules. Dee Dee stood up, and she had on a black t-shirt that came down to her knees. In the middle of the shirt was a red heart. Above the heart, in sparkling silver and gold letters, it said, Love Goddess. I bet they're good for kickball, huh? Said Stephen. She asked. Since, they're so hard. Nope, said Stephen. I can't run in them, and they hurt my feet. Well, then why do you wear them? Asked Edie. Because they're uncomfortable, Stephen explained. You have to wear uncomfortable shoes if you want to look important. Oh, said Dee Dee. What's that thing around your neck? Asked Paul. Oh, this is a tie, said Stephen. Does it keep your neck warm? Asked Paul. Nope, said Stephen. Does it hold your shirt on? Asked Paul. No, said Stephen. Well, then what's it for? Asked Paul. It chokes me, said Stephen. Oh, said Paul. The more it chokes me, the better I look, Stephen explained. See? And he tightened his tie. Oh, yeah, said Paul. You look real handsome. Paul was wearing cowboy and Indian pajamas. Stephen pulled his tie tighter. How do I look now? He asked. Wow, you look great, said DJ. Pull it tighter. Stephen pulled his tie even tighter. How's this? He gasped. You look great and very important, said DJ. DJ was wearing a toga made out of his bed sheet. Pull it tighter, said Bibi. Stephen pulled on his tie again. He could no longer breathe. Tighter, everyone yelled. Stephen pulled it even tighter. His eyes bulged and his nose turned blue. He had never been more handsome. Tighter, they all shouted again. Stephen pulled his tie so hard it ripped in half. Oh, the whole class groaned. Darn it, said Stephen. Now I'm not great and important anymore. Yes, you are, Stephen, said Mrs. Jules. You're just as great and important as you ever were. I am? Stephen asked. Well, certainly, said Mrs. Jules. The tie doesn't make you important. It doesn't matter what you wear on the outside. It's what underneath that counts. Underneath? Asked Stephen. Yes, said Mrs. Jules. If you want to be great and important, you have to wear expensive underpants. Oh, said Stephen. Mrs. Jules had on a flowered tank top and a grass skirt. And that's where we'll stop for now.